The Bruins take back home ice advantage with a win over the Leafs in game number 3. Hey everyone, welcome to Inside the Leafs. Rob Wong, joined alongside by Toronto Sun Maple Leafs writers Lance Hornby and Terry Koshan. And in what was a tightly contested game, the margins were pretty slim for the Maple Leafs. And yet again, it was the special teams that let them down as the Leafs went 0 with the man advantage. Lance, it's been a sore spot for this team for many years now that they can't get their power play sorted out come the postseason. What can the team do to get it figured out in order to get back into this series?
Well, they just look hesitant, and that goes back to every NHL team throws it back and hopes to get some speed through the neutral zone and get over the line. That's been pointed out by a couple of the commentators, and I agree that once the Leafs get over the line, Boston's pushing them off to the side and pressuring them right away, so they can't get set up. There's no room for the magical Mitch and the Austin shot and all that other sort of stuff to get rolling, and they're not really giving the second unit that much time because they're really trying to get Marner going, obviously. And when you have weapons like Matthews, you want to utilize them. All that said, William Nylander's not out there, so maybe he makes a difference when he's back and healthy. But you're right. I mean, it's been a special teams letdown that has hurt Toronto in previous playoffs, and this one certainly not trending very well, and not really reflecting well on assistant coach Guy Boucher, who's had all year to figure this out.
Yeah, and we got to keep in mind they were good for the most part during the regular season, right, on the power play. As far as last night goes, they did have chances. To me, it was a matter of execution, and which is inexcusable. I understand that Jeremy Swayman is one of the best goalies in the league. There's no argument there. But whether Nylander is in or not, you still have a player with Matthews on the back of his sweater, Marner in the back of his sweater, Tavares. All we were talking about, Lance, going into the playoffs was what Bertuzzi is going to be like and the impact he's going to have. Well, where is it? This is an area where he should be making that sort of impact, that net front presence. And if he does it in one game, then you can assume, I suppose, that it will keep happening. But it hasn't. So it's an execution thing to me. I mean, obviously the players are talented. We know that they know what they're doing. I thought last night some of their entries are fine and all that, but there is no quick fix solution. If there was, the Leafs would have figured it out because they're a lot smarter than we are, and they would have this thing going. But it's their failure to score is one of the things where we talk about going into every playoff series. What really does count the most, as much as you say you want your star players to produce, you do at 5-on-5, but it's special teams and goaltending. And if those guys aren't coming through when you have a man advantage, then you're kind of up the creek here without a paddle. And now the Leafs aren't there by any means series wise. It's 2-1. They're not like they're facing elimination on Saturday, but they have 72 hours here to figure this out. Coaches are going to hunker down today at the practice facility, and they'll be back on the ice tomorrow. And it's on them to really get a fix on this because it is. I have a feeling, Lance, that if it keeps up, obviously it's going to be a storyline that when we're writing the obit at the end of this series, if it goes that way.
Yeah, and certainly PK is a concern too, but I guess that's for another day.
Well, you know what? I was saying the PK guys, it ain't getting any better. It's 23rd regular season. You're not fixing it. It is what it is. You just close your eyes or through your fingers and hope it works out. And that's what it is. The Leafs are not getting any better on the PK for the playoffs. It's not going to happen.
Well, as Terry mentioned, a few days off until game number 4. It'll give William Nylander some more opportunity to heal up, and maybe we'll finally see him in this series. But when it comes to the rest of the lineup, Terry, are there any other changes you'd like to see?
Well, I don't know if you'd like to see them because the 5-on-5 play has been tight, and the Leafs have been kind of good at it. They haven't been giving up much to the Bruins. I suppose if Nylander isn't back, you insert a Noah Gregor up front and get his energy in there. I mean, you could do that, but the fact of the matter is Sheldon Keefe is really like what the fourth line has done, and he might be a little hesitant, or would be hesitant to make any changes there. On the blue line, Lance and I were talking about this during the game last night. If TJ Brody had a better season, he would be in now, and a guy like Timothy Liljegren would likely be out. Last night was another not a great game for Liljegren, and it's unfortunate for the Leafs because you could really use that veteran knowledge and presence of TJ Brody in any playoff series. But when he struggled like he did during the regular season, you're hesitant to use him in the playoffs, and so we have. So my short answer is perhaps a Gregor up front. We'll see what happens with Nylander, but on the blue line, we'll have to see. But like I said, if they had more confidence in Brody, he'd be in there right now.
Woke up this morning to a barrage of X or Twitter or whatever, and I'm sure you did too, Terry and Rob, about when's Joseph Wall going to get into this series. So, I thought there was certainly a bad odor to the goal that Ilya Samsonov gave up to Trent Frederick, but really for 2 periods earlier, they're all chanting his name. Again, the Sammy chants everywhere, and then you turn around this morning and everybody's kind of jumping on him again. I think there's other areas of the game that Toronto could be better in. Again, we talked about power play and scoring and all that. I think all that reflects a little better on Samsonov. He has to come up with that Frederick goal for sure, but he shouldn't be in the position of having to make a game-saving effort on that when Toronto has already let a lot of power plays go by. To Terry's point, I think as a maybe as a rabble rouser, you get maybe you think about maybe in short spurts. Mark Giordano maybe into that. I know they have to figure out the left right combination and all that, but you'd hate to see his career end with him sitting in the press box.
I'll just add one thing on Wall there. People just have to remember how he wasn't great in the last few weeks of the season, really since he came back from the ankle injury. Joseph Wall's not going to come in and turn the series on its head. Samsonov hasn't been that bad. I mean, come on.
Still going to be concerns about Joseph Wall if he heads in there as well. This is not a Boston Bruins type of situation where you feel pretty good about both of the goalies right now. Maple Leafs and Bruins, game number 4 set for Saturday night at Scotiabank Arena. As always, leave your thoughts in the comments section below. For Lance Hornby and Terry Koshan, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.